Wassmer is 7 years younger and 1 inch taller. And I know that Freddy Areaga was saying, you know, I haven't lost many fights at 125. This is the weight class that I need to be fighting at. I shouldn't be fighting heavier guys. So I think that he's got a lot of power punches to do. He said, don't judge me based on my record, which is the numbers that jump out at me right there. This is that 8-5 record.
Ready? This has the makings for another good fight, Juliana, because at 125, you know they're going to let their hands go, and you certainly know they're going to come in shape.
Yeah, absolutely. Freddie said, I don't want you guys to be confused about my record. My losses are to tough guys, and I always end up knocking opponents out at 125 pounds. This is a weight class that I feel comfortable at. I feel more comfortable at it. And every time I fought at 125, I've ended up knocking them out cold. So he's excited to be getting another chance in the Jaula to be fighting and wants to make up for his last fight that he did not fare so well in.
And you brought up a great point. Records are certainly deceiving when it comes to combat sports, and he's got a boxing background as well. So you'll see he'll try to utilize that stand-up game a little bit. Out of those 12 professional fights, 5 have come via knockout. So he's got some heavy hands for someone who weighs 125, especially flyweight division. It's a rarity at times. Absolutely.
He also teaches boxing at his gym, SBG, which is an associate gym with SBG in Ireland. He trains out of Boise, Idaho. And he comes from a fighting family. His sister is also a fighter. She fights for Bellator. Her name is Freddy Areaga. And she's an amazing fighter as well.
Yep, flyweight. You see right away, too, that Freddy was letting his hands go, and that's what Heinrich has to do. You have to either come in and shoot and just nullify that.
That's an amazing angle. I wish he could have got that other hand in to sneak in that guillotine, because he had his head the entire. Oh man, that's so frustrating for me. Little ground and pound by Heinrich Wassmer on top with the blue Hayabusa shorts, and looks like he's going to try to get some ground and pound off. But Freddy's doing a good job of sucking him in close and trying to work in and off his back, try to flip up a submission if he can. There's his sister Vita in the corner instructing him.
Amazing, because so many of these fighters have these backstories, and you say you have siblings right there, so you got the pedigree. I'm sure they push each other, they train a lot together, so they're probably trying to one-up each other as well. So that's something that you can use as motivation.
Definitely. I don't know about the one-upping each other, but I definitely know that their family is what definitely gives them motivation to continue to push forward and to do their best that they can. And there's that submission or kick out of the leg again. That you just saw. Wassmer did that to Freddy Areaga and was able to get him trapped on the mat, and now he has a figure 4 triangle lock, and he's trying to look for a submission rear naked choke there. That's not underneath the chin. That one is, though.
That's locked in.
Oh, nope, and he's still hand fighting, which I love. Freddy really needs to break that figure 4 triangle on the side that it's caught under. Now Wassmer going for an armbar there. Nice, beautiful, slicky, tricky transition there for an armbar. But Freddy's wise to the game and gets back to his feet.
And he lived up to his nickname, the Little Man, just slipping and being slick.
Absolutely.
He needs to fight up upright.
His aunt gave him that nickname, and it stuck his whole life.
Under 2 to go. This opening round slated for 3, contested at 125.
Freddy with the moving nice head movement. He really wants to knock him out. I know Freddy personally, and I know that he's always looking for a knockout.
And the one thing interesting about Heinrich is that he's learned to be more of a patient fighter, but he also understands repetition in the gym, repetition in practice. It usually translates to success.
Yeah, his best friend actually and roommate had to beg him to come into the gym and was trying to get him to start MMA. And he kept refusing and he wouldn't do it. And so finally he said, okay, fine, just get this nagging flea off my back. So he went into the gym, fell in love, and he's the first one there and the last one to leave. He trains all the time. And he also has a little daughter that he says is his main motivation. Nice front head draw, nice transition to the back. He's looking to sink a hook in, and he's got it. Taking the back of Freddy. Again, looking for a rear naked choke. Got that nice figure 4. 90% of the rear naked choke is dependent on the legs in the figure 4, or whether you got your hooks in and stretching the legs. It really expands and opens up that backbone and elongates your back so that your chin is available to be choked. And so it's really important to be using those legs. Since you have it trapped in that figure 4, you should be trying to, at the right time, apply the right leg pressure so that the back opens up and you'll be able to get underneath that chin and sink that rear naked choke in.
More susceptible. Your opponent's more susceptible when there's openings there.
Yeah, absolutely. And he definitely has that opening. He's got that figure four, and he's going again for the armbar transition.
I think really for maybe the first 15 seconds of the fight.
He's got him in a inverted triangle. He's got that. Here comes the armbar attempt.
Well, let's see if Freddy can get it out of
Freddy is in trouble. Definitely in trouble is Freddy. And thank God that the saved by the bell.
You give him the first 15 or so, 30 seconds of the fight, but then we saw right away the woman switched it into Wassmer's favor. Monumental height advantage. He's got 1 inch over Freddy. 5'5", respectively 5'4", as we start round number 2 slated for 3 at 125.
He is 7 years younger, though, so sometimes I think that this is a young man's sport. A nice punch by Freddy, but he's kind of shying away there, yep. You got to be,
good uppercut.
Nice, beautiful uppercut.
And the boxing skills, upright game starting to take over 30 seconds in round number 2. Maybe he figured he's got to keep the fight upright.
Yeah, he said he was expecting a war, and this definitely has been so far. Trying to catch the leg. I don't like that, you know. I don't like acknowledging leg kicks like that, like trying to catch it like that. No,
you're susceptible.
Right there. No, when you acknowledge a leg kick is when you get in danger. For me, I'd rather eat the leg kick and punch you in the face, right down the clown's mouth, right down the center, and make you pay for trying to leg kick me. And that was the way I was trained, and that's the way I think that it should go. This is a beautiful deep guillotine that Heinrich's working. It doesn't work. Freddy rolls to his side and gets out of it, and it looks like Heinrich might be going in for a Darce choke there. Definitely has got the baseball 3/4 stack inside on the back of Freddy's head.
He works some knees in too.
Freddy needs to seriously get off of his side and get to his knees. He needs to get his elbow back and get to his knees. Get your elbow back. He needs to be in more of a bulldog position. Nice flank there by Freddy Areaga, but it doesn't work. He needed to flank more in order to not get his back taken.
How much energy is he expending right now?
A ton. You're riding the weight of this guy who's, you know, doing everything he can to keep you down and implement his own strength on you. So it's extremely tiring, more for the guy who's losing than it is for the guy who's winning. And there again, you see the body figure 4 triangle by Heinrich Wassmer.
And more importantly, when you're on the ground like that, the judges also see that you haven't gotten position, you're losing the round as well.
Absolutely. You know, if you can't advance your position, if you can't get a transition to make sure that you're on top now, then the judges are obviously going to see that you're, you know, now losing the better half of round 2 as well. Yeah, if it goes all 3, but I don't think it will.
I saw for a moment, I thought Wassmer was trying to get in the armbar. That's one of his signature moves. But you can see right now, Freddy looks absolutely spent.
He looks spent, and he looks like he's like almost like out a little bit, like just kind of out of. He doesn't seem to kind of be aware of his positions. That's a nice little choke there. He's going for it. The most important thing that I think that I can say is you have to know where to break the figure 4 triangle. You're not going to get out or do anything until you break that body figure 4 triangle. And he is on the complete wrong side of this figure 4 triangle. He needs to break that foot off there that you see up top on the opposite side and then get both shoulder blades to the mat and turn into his opponent.
He's not getting the momentum that he needs from his torque or his legs. And furthermore, you go back to his facial expressions and his demeanor. Not only is he spent, you mentioned that he's not the wherewithal to know exactly where he is at this present moment. It's almost as though he's laboring through this last minute or so.
Yeah, he's just kind of like closing his eyes, and I know. It kind of looks, it's a waste of time for me, in my opinion, when you got somebody that has a figure 4 triangle locked on you and you're elbowing them in the thigh. Like, that's not going to get them to stop. That's not going to help you in any way, and you're not going to get out of your position by elbowing them in the thigh. You got to break that figure 4 triangle. Luckily, Heinrich Wassmer opened up the figure 4 triangle and was now, Freddy was able to get out of that.
Right, and get in the full guard.
And this is beautiful. I love seeing this. This is the transition that I was talking about. This is what I was talking about. Freddy finding a way to win. Now that he took his licks, it's time for him to give his own licks. And this is also something that the judges play into, you know, their scoring. This guy's coming back. He's finding a way to win, and now he's going to dominate and get his own licks off.
Is it enough, though, to win round number 2, though?
It depends on how...
they're scoring.
Yeah, that was a nice Kimura attempt. Heinrich is wise enough to finish and spin with him, and he doesn't quite have it there. Nice transitions, beautiful transitions. There's nothing there as far as submission goes for Freddy, but it's a nice try, and Heinrich winds back up on top.
I think more importantly, if he survives round number 2 and he's got 20 seconds to go, he's overcome adversity in round number 2, and that at least gives him a puncher's chance, if you will, in round number 3.
Absolutely. I didn't think that we would be making it to round 3. Nice, nice. Oh, man, I wish. Oh, dang it. Only if he could have sunk in that triangle a little bit more, maybe that would have gave him the advantage in the round and winning, but unfortunately his transition on top did not last that long, and Heinrich was able to get the transition back on top, get the reversal, and we are on our way to round 3.
Well, if anything, you see those boxing skills take over, and maybe he does go for broke and lets that right go a little bit. One of his signature shots as well. And you can tell right off the bat he switched a little bit orthodox to southpaw, now back conventional, and he was looking for it.
He definitely is. He's definitely looking for a knockout.
Yep.
Needing to quit acknowledging it.
Good knee.
Beautiful knee. There you go, Freddy.
Good body shot,
nice
too.
Body shot. And Heinrich looking to suck in on that leg and look for the takedown. He's going for a single leg there, but his head's in a terrible position. Nice sprawl. Come on, Freddy, get that rear naked choke. Or excuse me, guillotine. I don't know. Oh, that's deep. That's deep. Hit that hip, Freddy. Hit that hip. Hit that hip, dog. Hit your hip. Use your legs. Oh, he's out of there. Heinrich is now in full mount. Let me see if he's in full mount. I think his leg might be caught, but he can use the cage to advance
momentum.
his position.
Yep.
He's almost got full mount. Oh, man.
That's a great
all that work, you know, that is like mentally draining. You do all that work to get on top. You're finally in full mount, and then you get rolled off of a blow of a feather. It sucks to be in that position. It sucks because you finally got him. You finally hit him where you needed to hit him, and then he freaking gets back to his feet.
To Areaga's credit, though, he's still fighting. He's showing a lot of heart in there. The problem is, I think every time he gets the fight down to the ground, right away he loses position quickly. Now, when he was upright, he was able to land a couple punches. And to your point, you mentioned Wassmer going with either the T kicks or the inside leg kicks. If they do get caught, his guard's down because he's got to grab onto the leg.
Yeah.
Now you're going against a fighter that has heavy hands. Good counter, straight right, you can get knocked out in one punch. Now we'll see how it plays out with the last 3 minutes, but
definitely, Freddy's in a great position here right now. He's got a deep Kimura, and I know that he's very physically strong. Now he's in he was in a front head draw position, and now he got his back taken with that leg right in. And Heinrich is a lot of his wins have come by submission. He said that most of his wins have come by submission, and that he beats it out of him until he gets the submission. And that's exactly crucifix position here for Heinrich is what he's working on. And Freddy is absolutely gassed. You can see how tired he is. His arm is caught. And this is not a good position for Freddy to be in, as Heinrich is looking to also Kimura him as well.
And Heinrich looking for his 5th submission if it were to go down in the books of that. If he can pull it off. 5-1, as you mentioned, he's come in with 4 submissions. Not a lot of knockout power. It doesn't need it, though. You're seeing that wrestling background. You're seeing the jiu-jitsu. It's starting to take shape.
It's starting to look like UFC 1, where that one guy gets stuck in that crucifix and gets all those elbows till he gets knocked out. But Freddy did a beautiful job transitioning back to his feet, trying to take top position. And there he is back on top. Freddy with a nice, beautiful scrambles and finding a way to try to win this fight at all costs possible. He wants to knock him out. I know he does.
He's going to start raining down some haymakers. He had a couple opportunities, too, there. Open guard with those elbows to the gut. Didn't take advantage of it. And you do have to wonder, you're talking about a 33-year-old fighter as opposed to a 26-year-old fighter.
Absolutely. I would like to see a little bit more shoulder pressure by Freddy to make that chin turn by Wassmer and be able to maybe pass back into full mount again. But Heinrich is so good with his transitions. He's going for the single leg, but Freddy is wise of the game and stands back to his feet, and these guys are going to be duking it out again.
I got a sneaky suspicion Freddy's going for broke here.
Freddy needs to be going for broke here. Heinrich trying to mix it up and just throw him off with some
switching, yep, and his stances as well. See, there was a mistake right there.
Absolutely. He got a little too overzealous and punched to the body and then slipped on the way in.
And I think sometimes when you're changing stances, orthodox southpaw, you're not trying to confuse your opponent. Maybe you're trying to do something because you're confused.
Yeah, well, I always like to say if you confuse your opponent because you don't know what you're doing. What makes them think that they know what you're doing? You
That's
know?
a fair
so
point.
Keep mixing
That's
it up.
right. That's right. That's right.
Keep mixing it up.
It could be a wash.
Yeah. There he goes again for a triangle attempt. Freddy needs to get back to his feet. He's got to knock this guy out. Nice ground and pound. Nice big overhands from Heinrich Wassmer. And Freddy is not out or down for the count. He is trying to punch at all costs.
Problem is, I have him unofficially. I have him. He's lost the first 2 rounds. He's got 20 seconds to pull a rabbit out of the hat.
Yeah, absolutely. A little over 10 seconds left to go here in the third and final round, and Heinrich has found a way to wind back up on top and be in a position that solidifies a win, in my opinion.
I think so. I think going away, to be quite honest with you.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, this bout has gone the distance of 3 rounds, and now we go to the judges' scorecards. Después de 3 rounds de combate, nos vamos con las tarjetas de los jueces. Judge, el juez Gina Bell has scored the bout 30-27. Both judges, Chris Crail and Ron McCarthy, had the same scores of 30-26. Ambos jueces coinciden en tarjetas 30-26. For your winner by the way of unanimous decision, Ricky Scraps, Heinrich Wassmer.